What's up, witches? It's Luna here with a review, not really a strict unboxing. And today, what I'm looking at is the Inner Compass deck by Teal Swan. And I got this. I saw someone else do an unboxing, and was immediately fascinated. My collecting has kind of started to shift from the Pokemon method of gotta catch them all to realizing this is fucking impossible. And since I cannot afford to buy all these gorgeous independent decks, I'm looking at just how I can sort of round out my collection in certain ways. And one of the ways is in decks that are kind of adjunct decks that are really good clarifying decks. If you're reading tarot, something that can frame things, can clarify things, can sort of add another layer. So this Inner Compass deck, Follow Your North Star to Find Your True Values, talking about just values. And I thought, this is fascinating. So I purchased it. So it's not strictly an unboxing. I've already unboxed it. I have not even looked through all of the cards because there's 200 of them. This is my third 200 card deck. My Ocean deck has 200 cards, and my Tea Leaf reading deck has 200 cards. So now starts the collection of gargantuan decks. Anyway, I sort of took a look at it. It's been chilling on my altar for a couple of weeks. I have thoroughly cleansed it. So let's go in and take a look. Looks like a regular kind of deck here, but check this out. It's published by Watkins. Discover your authentic self. This deck has a very simple yet crucial aim to help you discover what matters most to you and allow you to live unconditionally according to those values, applying them to your work, relationships, mental health, and everyday life. Think of your honest, authentic self as true north, and this values deck as your compass, guiding you to what you want to be in the world, what you want to do, and how you want to go about doing it. Teal Swan is an international speaker, best-selling author who was born highly intuitive, a modern spiritual leader. She inspires millions of people towards authenticity, freedom, and joy. She's the author of 3 books, including The Anatomy of Loneliness. Okay, so this is Watkins. It says, our books celebrate conscious, passionate, wise, and happy living. Be part of the community by visiting watkinspublishing.com. It says US 40. I paid 30. All right, so you see the cover artwork. I do like the artwork. I like the colors, the rich jewel tones. Here's the booklet. So clearly we do not have any kind of listing of 200 cards in that small booklet. When I opened it, there was a paper band around this, and this romance card was on top. I've kind of rearranged chunks of them, but they were in no order. There's no alphabetical order, nothing like that. So let's do it this way. Uh-oh. And here we see a problem. With a gigantic deck like this, it's really difficult. You can't just like take it and plop it into the box. When I did, obviously this card went a wrong way and got bent. Okay. So, and then, you think about human values, and it's like, could I come up with 200 of them if I really thought about it? And I wonder if this might, these 200 cards might actually be, a number of categories of values that are then broken down into more specific things. Because when I think about human values, I think about absolutes like love, abstracts more than absolutes. Abstracts like, I don't know. Let's just go in. And I don't even know how I'm really going to go about this. I don't know that I'm going to go through all 200 of them. But let's start and see where we get. Now you can see that each card, as they are not listed and described in this book, Each card has a description written on it. Let's zoom you in. And then I do want to take a look at the book. It snowed today, so even though it's very gray, it's very bright. I mean, there's not a lot to see, so I don't really have to make it darker, I guess. Okay, I think we're ready now. So let's look at any kind of introduction here. About the Inner Compass deck. Sorry. The North Star, also known as Polaris or the Pole Star, is famous for holding nearly still in the sky. It appears this way to us because it's located so close to the North Celestial Pole, which is the point around which the entire northern sky turns. The North Star, as its name suggests, marks the way due north and as such acts as a guiding light for many. Travelers have used its brightness and prominence in the sky as a navigational tool for centuries. Like the North Star, your values can be used to guide you and keep you on the right path. When you do so, you allow your inner compass to point you to a destination that is both purposeful and uniquely meant for you. Experiencing overall life satisfaction, satisfaction, happiness, well-being, fulfillment really boils down to figuring out what you value in life, prioritizing and then living unconditionally according to those values no matter what. You can think of this process as following your personal North Star or inner compass. Now, right away there, when she lists satisfaction, happiness, well-being, and fulfillment, it's like, okay, satisfaction and fulfillment are very similar, but they have just a subtle nuance. Satisfaction feels to me like after a meal, after completing a specific project or something. Fulfillment feels like a more overall general life thing. So, this is going to get very interesting. Each card in the Inner Compass deck represents a different value, along with a description of that value, and is designed to help you locate your own inner compass. Later in this booklet, I will give you some specific ways of using the cards, but for now, let us consider what we mean by values. She says a value is something you believe to be most important, worth something, and useful at your deepest, most authentic core. It's what you care about. Very simply, right? Your values are about how you want to be in the world relative to others and to yourself, what you want to do and how you want to go about doing it. In your heart of hearts, what do you really want? What really has worth? When the things we do and the way we behave in the world toward others and ourselves match our values, we experience life satisfaction. The complications fall away as we purify and streamline our ways in the direction of our true values. And what she's talking about here is integration, is having integrity, is your behavior actually matching up with what you say you value. Now, what are your values? The hardest part about defining your values so as to live according to them is to be brutally honest with yourself about what they really are. We live in a society that tells us some values are more acceptable than others. Some make us good, while others make us selfish or bad. As a result, we've lost touch with our actual values and are failing to follow our own inner compass, our own North Star. Okay, so I'm just reading the first paragraph of these sections here. Then the next section says, all right. Well, I'm going to continue. To realign with our inner compass, we need to be willing to consider that we may have values that we've been conditioned to believe are not acceptable to have in comparison to others. By the same token, we may have been conditioned to carry values that we don't really hold within ourselves. So that's an inner conflict. Then she says, essentially, other people expect us to have the same values that they have and thus prioritize our actions according to their values. Value conflicts within couples are one of the main causes of incompatibility. Absolutely. Okay, and then the next section is values, not goals. Values are not the same as goals. A goal is something that is achieved and then it's done. Values are about something important that is ongoing. They're a definition of character, I guess, living by them. They require actions that you do for as long as you hold that value, potentially for the rest of your life, as opposed to something that gets crossed off your list once it's been achieved. For example, winning a gold medal at the Olympics is a goal, not a value, but achieving is an ongoing principle is a value. Good distinction. That being said, there's nothing wrong with goals. In fact, your goals can be a good way to figure out what your values are. Then she talks about prioritizing your values and core values, which are the absolute deepest and most important values you have. And they work similarly to core beliefs in that they are at the root of everything else we value. To find out what your core beliefs are, you need to ask yourself what is at the heart of your priorities in life. And then there's a section on living in alignment with your values, authenticity in values, and denial. Social idealism, acceptance, objective viewing, a note about personal value. Not values, value. So many people are walking the surface of the earth with terribly low self-esteem. At the core of this is the feeling of not being valued. When we value something, we regard it as having worth to us because it is useful, important, and beneficial. And it is this understanding that will give rise to a realization that can change your life. The realization is this: value is based on needs and desires. Okay, so there's a lot to think about and sit with. Incompatibility of values. And then we go about just rediscovering your own inner compass. Now, there is a book called The Passion Test. And in that book, there's an amazing exercise to discover really what your true passions are. And I liken that as, values as well. And the exercise was you go through and just kind of in a stream of consciousness write down everything that you're passionate about. Everything that you'd love to do, that you want to accomplish, that, just everything that inspires your passion in life. And then you go through the list and you take the number one on the list and you compare it to number two. If I could only go after one of these things, which would it be? And whatever the winner of that is, you go to the next one. And at the end of that list, comparing each thing, the one that survives at the end is your top number one passion. So I'm thinking that this might be an excellent tool to help, to do that exercise. If I could only have romance and self-esteem, which would I have? I would have self-esteem. That would be the winner. Self-esteem and to be loved. I think I might still have to go with self-esteem. Anyway, interesting deep dive exercise. So let's take a look at just the first few, reading the descriptions of them, and then we'll see where we go from there. Let's take another look at the backs of the cards zoomed in. I really find this attractive. We have a scale, so we're talking about weighing things out. And here it says value. Here it says love, purpose, health. And we have the golden spiral here of proportions curving around. That's a Fibonacci sequence. We have this beautiful star, like compass star, so North Star, stars in the corners. The jewel tones I find very, very attractive. So I'm liking the art style. All right. Romance says to have an exciting, mysterious courtship element in the relationship sector of my life, to feel strong attraction toward another person, and to experience the courtship behaviors undertaken by an individual to express those feelings and resultant emotions. This is a good definition, because romance isn't about love. It's not about, that bond that is love. It is the actions of courtship. Whatever your love language is, doing those things for each other. So, interesting. Then we have self-esteem, to feel confident in my worth and abilities to the degree that I have self-respect and feel good about myself. I mean, you can see how tall the stack is. Look at the perspective. Here's the Lord of the Rings. Here's how they did the whole forced perspective thing. because it looks like they are two entirely different size cards until I put them side by side. Wow. Okay. Then we have to be loved. To feel like others take me as a part of themselves, and as such, caretake my best interests and or feel a deep appreciation of me and attachment to me. To feel wanted and pulled in instead of pushed away. I do like the definitions here. And now we have to love others. And I wonder, all right, let's just keep going here. To be in the practice of taking others as a part of myself, and as such caretake their best interests and or make them feel appreciated, wanted, and pulled in by me instead of pushed away by me. Spirituality. I wish I had left these in order because I think I took them in chunks and shuffled them. I don't remember. So spirituality. To live a life deeply connected with and aware of the non-physical dimension of life, to be connected to the truth and the meaning that exists beyond this physical material life, and to live a life that is committed to spiritual growth. That would be a big value of mine, obviously. Self-acceptance, so different than self-esteem, to see the truth of myself and understand myself to the degree that I see my own strengths and limitations and accept those things instead of resisting myself. Friendship. To have a bond with close, supportive friends, to experience a state of mutual support, goodwill, and companionship with select other people, to experience enduring affection, esteem, intimacy, and trust between myself and another. Sexuality. All right, I'm going to stop reading. Let's just go. Service, and I'm not going to flip them over. Let's make this easier. Service. Justice. See, these are some of the values that we think of when we think of capital V. Productivity. Knowledge. Tolerance. Flexibility. Energy. Is energy a value? To have a life and experience things that fill you up with a vitality and enthusiasm. Okay. Quality. Integrity. That would be another one of mine. Ecology. Living in harmony with the environment. Respectability. To be honored, respected, and held in credit and high esteem by others. So we have self-esteem, and then we have respectability. Self-esteem is how we regard ourselves. Respectability comes from the outside. So one can hold the value of self-esteem and not give a shit about respectability, about whether anybody else respects you or not. Conversely, you can have a big need to feel respected by others and have extremely low self-esteem. In fact, I think those things might go often hand in hand. That you seek external respectability because you feel that lack inside, but they're not, you need both. Or I think the most important, see, my value is self-esteem. Okay. Generosity, calm, physical health, mental health, emotional health. Okay, so these are in categories. I wish I hadn't mixed them up. Forgiveness, significance. Okay, to perceive myself and to be perceived by others as being great or worthy of value, attention, and importance. Different than respect. A lot of nuance here. Loyalty, responsibility, rationality, stability, fun, control, discipline, duty, commitment, equality, humility, belonging. That would be another one of mine. Simplicity, patience. Ooh, I see different colors coming up. I wonder. I see that the background is slightly a different color here. Patience, openness, autonomy, excellence, industry, presence, dependability, authenticity, leadership, challenge, confidence, religion, Gifts. Are gifts of value? I value gifts, but are they like a life value? Interesting. So gifts, it says to receive or to give gifts as a way of receiving and expressing love. So this is one of the love languages. A visual symbol of people's love for me. A reminder that they put thought and meaning into securing something that would enhance my pleasure and cause me to know that I am loved, such as a special item or an experience or a token of their love. All right. Affirmation. Quality time. Favors. Okay, now gifts and favors would seem to be pretty similar. So gifts is somebody purchases, makes a gift, gives you a physical item. Favors, to receive or give service-oriented actions as a way of receiving or expressing love. So gifts are the material things. Favors are actions. Physical touch. Freedom. Intelligence. Okay. To have the capacity for logic, understanding, self-awareness, leaning, emotional learning. That has to be learning. Emotional knowledge, it says leaning. Planning, reason, creativity. So that's different than rationality. Okay. Someone can be very intelligent and not very rational. Kindness, entertainment, clarity, charisma, home, professionalism, grace, endurance, reciprocity, diversity, adaptability, willingness, happiness, entrepreneurship, ambition, curiosity, dignity, to be and to act in a way that is worthy of honor or respect, to have a noble, regal, composed, or serious manner or style. Okay. Faith, nature, art, career, fairness, inclusion, legacy, patriotism, make a difference, to have a significant and positive effect on a person or situation or the world or the universe at large, to cause a change and be important in some way. I like, make a difference, impact, impactfulness, make a difference is good. Recognition, optimism, resourcefulness, proactivity, passivity, protection, security, time, education, sleep, food, exercise, competition, thrift, stewardship. To carefully and responsibly conduct, supervise, take care of, or manage something entrusted to my care. To act as the surrogate of another or multiple others. Travel, truth, understanding, vulnerability, trust, determination, meaning, reputation, innovation, wonder, memories. Here's where I cut the deck. There are 4 direction cards, and these are to be used in a reading. So north is the very most important to me. South is not important to me. East is important. West is somewhat important. So north is very important, east important, west somewhat important, and south not important at all. East, west, okay. Weird, kind of weird. All right, anyway, let's set those aside. Community, leisure, contribution, balance, spontaneity, self-awareness, excitement, humor. So energy and excitement are an interesting nuance. Humor, virtue, bravery, nonconformity, solitude, attractiveness, originality, independence, imagination, cooperation, inner peace, Personal peace. Okay. Now look at those two. Inner peace, to experience internal harmony and congruence, meaning that you're in sync with yourself. No inner conflict. The absence of internal conflict, disturbance, irritation, pressure, stress, pain, noise, chaos, and strife. To be able to keep myself strong in the face of these things should I encounter them on the outside, so that I can experience mental, emotional, and physical serenity and calm. Personal peace, to maintain a personal experience of ease, harmony, serenity, quiet, calm, relief, and security, no matter if others are experiencing the opposite. To be able to relieve myself of or withdraw myself from external stress, pressure, conflict, disturbance, irritation, pain, noise, chaos, or strife, so as to be free from it. So this is kind of seemingly more selfish. Personal peace, that if there are things that aren't peaceful, I'm just going to take myself out of it. Inner peace is like, even if I'm facing things that are chaotic, I will still have peace internally. I think this is more about external, this is more about internal. Then we have world peace. Intuition, intimacy, depth, progress, unity, status, accuracy, helpfulness, meditation, results, altruism, efficiency, safety, acceptance, realism, pleasure, nurturance, moderation, awareness, caring, courtesy. So caring is to care as opposed to being indifferent. Courtesy is politeness, predictability, tradition. I'm interested to know now predictability and control and what the differences would be there. Okay, tradition, monogamy, family, to support, luxury, fame, cleanliness, communication, wealth, hospitality, power, authority, order, comfort, certainty, self-determination, variety. So self-determination and independence, I would like to compare those two as well. Variety, growth, creativity, passion, mastery, mindfulness, hope, compassion, achievement, purpose. Okay. Winning, beauty. All right, let's look at beauty. To appreciate and to be surrounded by things that have qualities such as shape, color, or form that please my aesthetic senses, especially my sight. So that is a very physical definition of beauty. Adventure, risk, advocacy, allegiance, parenthood, partnership, change, skill, empathy, talent, popularity, gratitude, ethics, conscience. Okay, let's look at ethics and conscience. Ethics is living and governing by behavior, by moral principles of rightness and goodness, to have the discipline to demonstrate moral character. Conscience is to listen to and act according to an inner feeling or voice which is viewed as acting as a guide to the rightness or wrongness of my own thoughts, intentions, character, conduct, behavior, and actions, to act in alignment with my values. Faithfulness, learning, performance. So I wonder if education and learning, to continually acquire new understanding, knowledge, behavior, skills, attitudes, and or preferences through experience, practice, study, or being taught. So I guess Education would be more of a formal institutional education. Performance. To communicate or behave or dress in such a way as to guarantee people will perceive me in the way that I want. To demonstrate careful presentation. Entertaining others or presenting myself to others in such a way as to dictate their experience of me. That's interesting. Connection. Honesty. Pride is the last one that got bent. Okay. So, we're half an hour in, and all I've done is read the cards. Let's try some divination with this deck. I have no idea how this is going to come out, but I'm thinking, in doing a reading with another deck, it might be very interesting to be able to ask, what values are at play here? What do I need to be aware of? Let's see how. I'm not even going to attempt to shuffle this deck all together. I'm just going to grab a wad off the top here and see if they shuffle. I'm already seeing that the borders are going to be nicked, and already thinking I might. Oh my God, these are stiff. All right, so you really can't shuffle them. You cannot riffle shuffle. So I think it's going to be, a matter of just, this might be a great deck to just smear around on the floor or the table or something, and then, all right, quality time. That one kind of flew out. Let's just do a few little shufflies while we are lighting our charcoal and asking for some help here. Guides and guardians, allies and ancestors, thank you so much for being here every minute of every day with me. I welcome you here now to help me test drive this deck and see what we can get from it. Again, I'm really feeling like it's going to be a great sort of adjunct. Ooh, competition. Just going to see what flies out here and what I can make of it. No promises. I promise nothing. Oop, and here's another one. Significance. That one wanted to come. All right. Let's see what we have here. So they came out in the order of quality, time, competition, significance, service. And then I've got two more, forgiveness and friendship. All right. Let me see if I can make any kind of storyline out of this. Quality time, to receive or give undivided attention, time, and presence as a way of receiving or expressing love. To be with the other person and to be the center of their attention, perhaps to do a pleasurable joint activity together, such as talking, eye-gazing, making love, watching a movie together, taking a walk, going on vacation, or experiencing all the new things together. Now, what question do I always ask when I'm doing deck reviews? What do we need to know in order to go from survival into thrival, into thriving? So the first thing here, let's just, ask that question. And the cards have already come out. I already asked my guides. I'm going to offer, I already offered them fresh water. Now I'm offering some fire of Azrael. So one of the ways we go from merely survival is doing something of quality with our time. So when you're spending all day in your head and fears and worries and anxieties are spinning around, it can help to shift by doing something, spending some quality time. Now, what that means to you is personal. For me, quality time is spent playing with decks, looking at the beautiful woods, hanging out with my husband, making each other laugh. That's quality time. riding in the car with my son, the deep conversations that we have together, listening to fabulous music. All of those things are quality time for me, time well spent. So that's a way to move from survival into thriving. Now let's look at competition. To consciously strive to improve, gain, reach an objective, or win something by defeating or establishing superiority over others who are trying to do the same. I like to take part in things like games, contests, sport. All right, there's like a personal statement there that I haven't seen on the others. All right, competition is not something I value. All right, I'm thinking here that I'm just going to look at these 6 and as far as my own personal values go. So quality time, is it the very most important to me? I mean, I would say it's important. I think quality time would go in the East. It is important to me. I want to spend my time in a quality way. Somewhat and then not. Competition, not important to me. I, in fact, don't like competition. My husband and I play Wii games at night, and we bowl a lot, and I like to bowl because I feel like I'm in competition with myself. When I was younger, I never liked team sports. I never liked being high anxiety, never liked, competing against someone. I always liked the things that were competing against myself, like archery, where I had to improve my own skill, but not in competition with someone else. In fact, I used to feel horribly guilty if I won playing a game and won when I was a kid. All right, significance, to perceive myself and to be perceived by others as being great or worthy of value, attention, and importance. Yeah, significance is important to me. Is it the very most important? I don't know. I don't think it's the very most important, but it is important. Service, to be of service to others, to the world at large and or the universe at large. For example, offering assistance, advice, help, or action for someone or on behalf of a greater cause. That's important to me. That's what this channel is, all right, so that's important too. The very most important, I don't know. Forgiveness, to be forgiving of others, to be able to let go of and release feelings of anger or resentment, or the need for restitution or amends when someone has a flaw, makes a mistake, offends or harms me or others. Yeah, that's important. And then friendship, to have a bond with close, supportive friends, to experience a state of mutual support, goodwill, and companionship. We've read that. Friendship, yes. Friendship is very most important to me. So, as far as a reading, now let me ask an actual question, and then we'll do a cut and see what we come up with. Since I hadn't framed a question, let's put these back in. God, it's unwieldy. So this is already something that, it's, and to even go through and do the passion test thing with it and compare is a job of work. So, all right. I mean, you can't even go and spread them, can you? No, you can't. So we're going to cut. We're going to kind of do a cut shuffly thing here with some more. And then we're going to ask, give me 3 cards that show me, I don't even know how to frame a question here. What values do I need to focus on today to bring me more into integrity, into congruence with myself, into fulfillment, into just what value do I need to focus on today? Just going to kind of let them fall open. That didn't really work at all. Okay. All right, we'll do it this way. What value do I really need to focus on today? I just split and pull. Spontaneity. Okay, so a daily pull, I can totally see this working. To be spontaneous, to have a life that allows for a change or decision or occurrence to happen due to inner impulse or inclination without predetermination. So something that I could focus on today is just not having a plan, having no agenda, no schedule, where I can flow with the energies of the day. So that would be an important thing. Interestingly, in my younger days, I did not value spontaneity. I had a difficult time being spontaneous. I needed to control things more. I liked planning things. I mean, I was capable of being spontaneous, but I remember my boyfriend at the time was so spontaneous about everything that there was zero planning, and it would be like, hey, let's have a picnic, blah, blah. And it's like, you do know that requires a little bit of planning. What kind of food do we want to take? What kind of, rather than, he wanted to be spontaneous about things that really required planning to be enjoyable and successful. And, so yeah, I didn't really value that. I do value it now in terms of, I don't remember if I saw flexibility in this deck. I would say flexibility is a requirement to be spontaneous, to be able to change your plan according to when, obviously, things have changed. So anyway. Let's see, what else? Intelligence. What can I focus on today? Intelligence. See, that doesn't really make sense. I already read this card. Let's take a look at another one. Romance. Okay. So yeah, I mean, not really a divination deck, I would say. I'm going to have to spend some time with this and just give it trials. I am definitely going to do a sorting game with it, just to help me kind of have a better grasp on values and kind of to help identify my top values. But let's look back to the Inner Compass deck here and see what some of the suggestions are that she makes. Rediscovering your own inner compass. You will have values that relate to every sector of your life, work, friendships, of your life, work, friendships, marriage, parenting, personal growth, spirituality, leisure, the list goes on and on. In order to discover them, it may be useful to think about how you would answer the following questions about your past, present, and ideal future life. First, looking back, ask yourself, when were you the absolute happiest and why? What were you doing? What factors contributed the most to your happiness? When were you the proudest of yourself and why? When did you experience the most fulfillment and meaning and why? Now think about your life now. Ask yourself what current situation makes you the unhappiest and why. What's missing from your life? What do you desire or need that you don't currently have? What part of your life makes you feel the happiest and why? And where's the most meaning? And then thinking a specific area of your life like work, relationship. What personal qualities do I want to bring to this area of my life? How would I behave and what would I do if I were the ideal version of myself? And then you think about the future. Some other things helpful to consider when it comes to identifying your values are, how do you spend your time? What energizes you? Okay, this is good. How do you spend your time? If you have a choice of, I can do anything with the time I have right now, and no lack of resources or access, how would I spend my time? What energizes you? How do you fill your space? How do you spend your money? What images dominate your thoughts? What topics do you love to study, read about, or research? What do you most often talk to yourself about? What do you most often talk to others about? What are you the most organized, committed, focused, disciplined, or where are you the most organized, committed, focused, disciplined, and reliable? What in your life do you think you couldn't stop doing even if you had no money or all the money in the world? And then ways to use the inner compass, the personal value layout. Oh my God. So you lay out the direction cards, and then you arrange them from left to right in this order, north, east, west, and south. Now sort all of the value cards in the deck into one of these 4 categories. Holy shit. Next step is to arrange the cards within each category in order of their importance. So here's where you get the compare one to the next and see which one wins. The value card that represents your absolute number 1 top value should be at the very top of your most important to me collection. The least important should be at the bottom of the south. Okay, this exercise forces you to arrange all of the values in the deck. I don't know that I'd be able to do that. The power of elimination layout. First, look through the deck and select your top 15 values. I mean, this is intensive. So you take your top 5 out of those 15. Here's an example of one such list created by an ER doctor who had reached a crisis in his life. So his top 5 values at the time were connection, to be loved, happiness, nature, and leisure. The eliminated values out of that 15 were curiosity, make a difference, recognition, proactivity, time, exercise, meaning, service, to love others, and friendship. After seeing his values laid out in this way, he decided to quit his current job and take up part-time work in another state. From there, he moved to the countryside in that area and spent every other day in nature. So I can see this would be, going through the whole damn deck would be a great thing when you are at a cusp, when you are at a critical point in life where things are unsettled, where you're trying to look for when change is happening, or you're trying to catalyze change and you don't understand maybe why things are falling apart. Okay, the decision assist layout. Take any situation you're in and figure out what making any of the choices involved in the situation would give you. So this is how to make decisions. To do this, look through the value cards with this question in mind. What values would I be in alignment with by making that decision? So if it's going on vacation versus staying home. Okay, going on vacation. They have a list of inclusion, connection, excitement, spontaneity, and memories. Staying home would offer security, thrift, responsibility, duty, and rationality. And then from there, arrange these values in order of priority, most important to least, of all of them. And then see which one comes out on top. Wow, using the inner compass deck like a tarot deck. Okay. First, set a value-related intention or ask a value-related question. For example, an intention could be wanting to know what value will lead to a conflict between you and your partner, or for the deck to show you what value you need to prioritize on this specific day. Well, I just did that. Question could be, what value am I neglecting right now, or what value do I need to change my perspective about in order to live a happy life? Or what value am I prioritizing that is out of alignment with my best interests? Then focus on that question or intention as you begin to shuffle the deck, making sure you cannot see the values written on the cards as you do so. Focus on your intention or question as if you're asking the consciousness of the universe at large to speak to you through the decks in this card. Stop shuffling when you feel it's right. Keeping your question or intention in focus, fan the cards out, value side down. With your eyes open or closed, allow yourself to gravitate to the card in the deck you feel drawn to. Let the card choose you. Once you've selected, flip it over and read it. Okay, then there's a compatibility layout. the hours layout, like yours and mine, what I value in specific things layout, the what I value in you layout, the what I value in myself layout, that's a good one. The what I want you to value in me layout, what I need in my life, what I need in my relationship, environment, social ideals, direct reflection, using the deck to assist in parts work, using the deck to motivate yourself. All right. Wow. Okay. As always, any tool can be a tool of divination. It just depends on how you want to approach it and how you want to frame it. This is a frickin' behemoth. I'm glad to have it in the collection. I will not be purchasing any of her other products. She does have a blind spot deck that it has numbers and abstract sigils on them, and I don't know. Yeah, I saw that one. I thought, ooh, blind spot deck, that's a great idea. The deck itself is not something I'm attracted to. So, I'm going to put the direction cards on top, and I will be playing with this. I will be doing sorting, as I said. So I am particularly interested in what you think about this deck. I am not interested in discussions about the author. I will not respond to those comments. That's not what this channel is for. So please, if you have, comments and things to say about that, please don't. Okay, I'm not going to delete them. I don't know, but just don't do it. All right. Anyhow, I hope that you found that interesting. Hold on, I'm trying to bigger myself. There we go. If you like this channel, please subscribe, hit like, hit the bell notification, all that kind of stuff. I will read for you on one of my unboxing videos. If you care to click that Amazon link down below and buy me a deck off of my growing wish list, I'll unbox and I will do a reading for you. And if you do that, send me a specific question if you have one. If you don't send me a specific question, I will just ask what you need to know right now and do the reading. So anyhow, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will see you next time, and until then, this is Luna. Blessed be.